With the spoilers from Modern Horizons 2, there have been a lot of characters from the early Magic stories that will be featured in the upcoming set. Today, I wanted to go over these characters for people who aren't familiar with them, or maybe needed a reminder as to their significance in Magic lore. As Miranda Martica in Dakon was an underworld cook captured by a pit lord named Vincent, forced to cook a new dish for him for 7 years and 7 days, similar to the stories of 1001 Nights. After completing her service for the pit lord, she compiles all the recipes into a cookbook that she intends to sell to the people of the overworld. Of the 20 copies made, only 2 end up selling, which prompts her to order imps to burn the remaining copies. They instead put them in a chute that ends up sending them to the overworld. The book then becomes all the rage in the upper echelons of society, and as Miranda Martica in Dakon finds herself being hunted by the monster she wrote about in the book. Prior to being introduced in Modern Horizons, Asmore, because I'm not going to pronounce the whole thing again, was introduced in the flavor text of a couple of creatures, but the lore of her character primarily comes from a collection of short stories called Distant Plains. Garth Onei, originally known as Galen, had his childhood home destroyed by a man named Cthulhu, and had his left eye gouged out by a servant of his. After running back into his burning home, he was presumed dead and remained in exile for 20 years. After that time, he returned to Estark under the name of Garth to fight in the arena. Garth fought his way through the arena, along the way becoming a planeswalker and, now known as Garth Onei, defeated Cthulhu in the arena, exacting revenge all those years later. Garth ended up meeting a woman named Noreen after his battles in the arena, whom he decided to settle down with. Garth had trouble giving up his planeswalking ways, however, and still ended up traveling from time to time, and it was during one of these times that his wife and child were kidnapped, where, after rescuing them, Garth finally gave up his planeswalking to stay with his family. Torok is the creator of the Order of the Ebon Hand, a group that worshipped the Ebon Praetor, and later revered Torok as a god as well. At the time, most people worshipped the Hand of Justice, but Torok created a new empire, with the Citadel of the Ebon Hand at its center. It's also believed that the Order originally worshipped the Phyrexian demon Gix as well. The characters Dakon, Piru, Dihada, and Karth are all involved in a shared story. Dakon was originally a blacksmith until one day he was approached by Gaedrone Dihada and asked if he could forge the most powerful blade. In exchange, Dihada would make Dakon a planeswalker. This leads Dakon down the path to creating the Black Blade, a weapon with the power to absorb the souls of those it kills, granting the wielder additional strength. Tales of the Black Blade's power summon Dihada back to the plane, who fulfills her agreement turning Dakon into a planeswalker. She then immediately stabs his shadow with the Black Blade, which absorbs his soul but does not kill him. Karth also had a vendetta against Dihada for destroying his hometown, but was captured by her first. Karth escapes imprisonment with the help of Dihada disguised as a monk. She also tricks Karth into summoning Dakon back to Dominaria, who ends up being bound to Karth, making him unable to planeswalk away. This forces Dakon to serve Karth, who is intent on defeating Dihada. Dihada then calls upon the power of 2 Elder Dragons to take on Dakon, Piru and Chromium, who are both ultimately defeated by Dakon. Chromium is banished during the fight, and Piru is killed by the Black Blade, at which point Dihada absorbs Piru's soul, revealing that she had planned all of this. Dakon then attempts to attack Dihada, but she is too powerful, and forces Dakon to serve her for all eternity. This is a very condensed versions of all these stories though, so if you're interested in the full stories, I recommend checking out these books and these comics, as these will be the full in-depth versions of the stories. I'm pretty excited for the release of Modern Horizons 2, and I hope that you very much enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe for more content, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.